Assalamualaikum, it's me Ms. Faradiba from Peshawar Model School, No.6 branch. Today we will discuss our 6th lecture from unit number 9 of class 10 chemistry. But before going to start our lecture, I would like you to subscribe our YouTube channel and don't forget to like and share our videos so you will watch our upcoming videos. The chapter of our class 10 chemistry which we are discussing is the chemical equilibrium, and today we will discuss the conditions for equilibrium. In your book there are 5 conditions for equilibrium, but we will discuss here the 7 conditions for equilibrium, that are open container, closed container, concentrations of reactants and products, temperature of the system, pressure of the system, volume of the system, and the catalyst. And from onward we will discuss one by one all of these conditions of equilibrium. Okay, these are the factors, or we can say the conditions, which affect the equilibrium or rate of reaction. The first one is open container. Okay, here are two containers. The one is open system and the other one is closed system. In open container, equilibrium cannot attain in open container. Okay, now let's suppose we are taking solid and liquid, so that is okay because that are not compressible. But if we take gaseous substances, or we can say the gaseous reactants are reacting together, so if we take any gaseous molecules in the open system and give some temperature to that system, so that molecule which are gaseous in nature may escape from the system. So when they escape from the system, so there will be no backward reaction, or we can say the backward reaction will be equal to negligible. So there will be less possibility of collision between the molecules. Why there will be less possibility of collision? Because that system is open, there is much more space for the molecules of that gaseous substance, and there will be less pressure because that is the open container. So there will be more space, and the collision of molecule will be negligible, and so there will be no possibility of attaining the equilibrium. The next one is closed container. The equilibrium attained in closed container. Why equilibrium attained in closed container? This is the closed container. If we take any gaseous molecule in the closed container, and after some time that gaseous molecules will go upward in that container. And if we take, let's suppose, the water molecule and give some heat to that water molecule, so that will be evaporate. And after some time that vapors will condense back to the system, so the rate of forward and backward reaction will be equal, so the equilibrium will be established at that point. So it means there is a collision of molecule, and the molecules which are gaseous in nature collides with each other in closed container, and the concentration of reactant and products remains constant. Why these are constant? Because when these molecules goes from the system to the upward, and then it comes back to the system, so it means that the products which are formed in the forward reaction will be equal to the reactants which are formed in the backward reaction. So the concentration of reactants and products will be remain constant, and the equilibrium will also remain constant. Okay. The next one is concentrations of reactants and products. First one is concentration of reactants. If the concentration of reactants increases, reaction will move in forward direction in order to attain equilibrium. It means that if the concentration of reactants increases, for example, we are reacting 2 or more reactants, and the concentration of that reactants increasing, so the reaction will move in forward direction. It means the rate of forward reaction will be increases, and that will be goes in forward direction in order to attain the equilibrium. The next one is concentration of products. if the concentration of products increases after, because in any system, after the formation, after the forward direction, the time comes when the products of concentration of products increases. At that time, reaction will move in reverse direction in order to attain equilibrium. And if we adding any product, or if we are increasing the concentration of products, so automatically that will be goes in reverse direction, or in order to attain the equilibrium. So for maintaining the equilibrium, or in order to keep away the equilibrium for any disturbances, we should have to maintain the concentration of reactants and products remain constant. The next one is the temperature. If the temperature of the system increases, more products will be formed. It means that if we are providing temperature to any system, and there are the gaseous molecules as a reactants which are reacting together, and if we apply temperature to this system, so it means that will be collide with each other, and the collision will be increases with the temperature. So it means more products will be formed, and the reaction will be moved in forward direction. If the temperature decreases, less products will be formed. It means that if we decrease the temperature of any system, or we can say any gaseous molecule, so the collision will be lower, or we can say there will be less collision between that gaseous molecules, so automatically less products will be formed, and reaction will proceed in reverse direction. The next one is pressure. If the pressure applied on a gaseous reactant increases, it means more products formed. It means that by applying pressure, we are suppressing the gaseous reactants, and by suppressing the gaseous reactant, we are stressing that system or that molecules to collide with each other strongly. And if their collision are more, so it means more product will be formed. And if the pressure applied on any gaseous reactant decreases, it means that less product will be formed. By applying less pressure on any gaseous molecules means we are providing more space to that molecules, and if the space is more, it means that there will be less collision of that molecules, and if the collision is decreases, so it means less product will be formed. The next one is volume. If the volume of the system increases, means less products will be formed. It means that if we provide this system of the volume which are increases by applying any temperature or by decreasing the pressure, so it means there will be less collision of the molecules. So if the collision of the molecules are less, so it means less products will be formed. If the volume of the system decreases, means more products formed. If we take any closed container, so it means there is the volume of the system decreases, and if the volume of the system decreases, means there will be more collision between gaseous molecules, and due to more collision and the gaseous molecules, more products will be formed. So for attaining the equilibrium, or we can say for the establishing of equilibrium, we should have to avoid any disturbances in any of these factors like pressure, temperature, volume, concentrations, or open and closed container. So after that we can attain the equilibrium. The next one is catalyst. What are catalysts? These are the substances which only speed up the chemical reaction. It doesn't take part in any chemical reaction as a reactant or as a product. It reacts with the reactants and speed up the chemical reaction, and at the end of chemical reaction, it will comes back in their original form. So it only speed up the chemical reaction, no change in the system occur. In fact, catalysts equally speed up both forward and backward reaction. if we apply or if we provide any catalyst to the to any reactant, so it will react with the reactants and will speed up the forward reaction and will give us the product, and in the reverse direction it react with the products and speed up the backward reaction. So in by providing the catalyst, equilibrium will be remain constant. Equilibrium state: if conditions do not change, the system will reach the equilibrium. It means that all of the above conditions which we discussed, if we do not disturb that condition, so the system will automatically regain or will reach the equilibrium. For explaining these conditions or for explaining these all changes, Henry Louis Lee Shetler, who are the chemist and who present a principle which we can call the Lee-Shetler's principle. In 1884, he presented this principle, and how he stated this principle. He said that when any system at equilibrium is subjected to change in concentration, pressure, temperature or volume, then the system partially readjusts itself to counteract the effect of the applied change and a new equilibrium is established. It means that if we take any system which are in equilibrium and we change any of the and we apply change in any of the condition like concentration, pressure, temperature or volume, so the system will the system will be disturbed for the time being, but after some time that system will partially readjust itself and will counteract all of the effect of the applied change which we discussed in earlier slides, and a new equilibrium is established. Let us take an example. If someone is come from other country or from other city, so for him or her it would be difficult to adjust with new people or with in the new country, but after some time he will readjust or he will he will be readjust to that new country or new people, so and will counteract the effect of all that environments or all that society. So this is somewhat like the equilibrium equilibrium state, or we can say the dynamic equilibrium, which we established after applying the all these conditions at optimum state. If the conditions are disturbed, the equilibrium will also be disturbed. If the conditions which we discussed in our earlier slides are disturbed, means if we apply any of the condition in more or less quantity, so automatically the equilibrium will also be disturbed and the system will tries to regain its equilibrium. So for attaining the equilibrium, the system will try their best to moderate that condition, and for attaining the equilibrium the system will move in forward or backward direction to attain equilibrium. That system will be either move in forward or in backward direction for attaining the equilibrium. So it means that for attaining the dynamic equilibrium, we should have to maintain their moderate condition of any of the condition like temperature, pressure, volume, catalyst or the open and closed system. So after that dynamic equilibrium will be established. That was all about the conditions of equilibrium, and I hope that you understand that this topic, and if you have any questions, so you can ask in the comment section. Okay, thank you so much.